Yo! All right, let's get to work. What's going on in the hood? Hot damn. It's money making time. It's showtime. Morning, peoples. Coo. All right, well, let's get to this. Let's get to what we got to do, which is the do. We got slight gap in the market. Look, yesterday was a big range for after the opening dump. We were stuck in a range for a little bit. In the scheme of things, it very well may have been just like a little bit of an inside day. You know, if you really think about it, like we just had a narrow range day for the most part. Not technically an inside day, but I would say narrow range day. So it could have just been a little bit of a rest day. The indexes are looking a lot better, you know, in the scheme of things. Now, the overall structure of like just having like a big, nasty, gelatinous, you know, chop zone, that hasn't really cleared. So there's a couple things to be mindful of is, you know, even though the price action has been slightly better of the last, let's say 3-4 days, it doesn't really change our overall structure of like kind of this, which has been like just one big kind of, you know, grind of life, you know, in the indexes themselves and, you know, beyond the indexes, right? Like, I mean, if you think this is like, okay, this range started in November, you know, then we're still kind of in bear market trading. You know, we're in bear market trading tactics. If you remember in December, we had a period from December 21st or December 20th to December 28th, about 8 days, where we had like a really huge run. It was just as big as, you know, this current one right now. We were slightly more oversold here, and so we're getting probably a little bit more of a wicked snapback. And this one definitely was on much lower volume if you look at the QQQs, but this was also holiday week, so you can discount that. Also, you can always discount volume in indexes anyways, because there's so many fucking ETFs out there right now. But in general, we've seen this kind of action before. And this was a pretty powerful 4-day move, and it was really off the same settings. And what I mean by same settings, and for those of you guys that are especially swing traders, you know, when you break below like the lower Bollinger Band and you get like a really oversold reading, that typically leads to bounces in the indexes. That's actually the spots like where you want to be adding swings versus, you know, doing other things like, you know, adding at highs and stuff, at least when you're in a range. And so now we're back into the middle of the range. Do we have a little bit of upside? Yeah, I think probably so, but it doesn't mean that we're necessarily this bear market trading is over. It just means, you know, we've had a nice relief bounce, and there's a lot more stuff that needs to be done on it. If we're looking at just market breadth in general, you know, the number of breakouts yesterday, nothing really special. Now, the day before, we did have a little bit of a breadth thrust and not that many breakdowns. So that's like something probably important to watch. You know, market breadth will tell us some clues that are happening in the market in terms of, do we got a sustained reversal or not, compared to just watching the indexes, which are controlled by, you know, 5 monster cock companies that essentially, you know, take all the action, you know, in the market. What we really need to see is like a sustained level of buying and breakouts, 4% breakouts for a period of time. You know, I would say, you know, even a good 4, 5, 6 days would really come into play. Like if you saw some elevated numbers, that's going to be something in cards. And then you can see here, percentage of stocks over your 200-day moving average is still like really low compared to like when you got a hot market. You see in a hot market, like this is what a hot market looks like. Every single stock's over its 200-day moving average. In a shitty market, like, you know, you have a much less. And I digress. We are not in a shitty market per se. We are just in a bear market. We're bear market trading tactics. Hold on 1 second. Good. Now let's take a look at earnings plays in general. No matter what's happening with the market, when you have earnings out, you know, when it's earnings season, you're going to have plays that are going regardless of, you know, kind of what's happening with these lame indexes. So let's take a look and see here. So BTCS, this is probably something, worth a gander here. But look, it's on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the move out of 7 days. Like, do you really want to chase up a 22% gap on day 7 of a fucking move? That just sounds, I should say day 7 out of 8, but still, that just sounds like a good way to really just butter your broker's muffin right there. I mean, you'll be in and out of this thing all day like a degenerate. I don't know. You're at resistance here. That's not really my cup of tea. I'm a coffee man. BBLN. This is an e-liquid piece of junk. ADGI. So you got 13% gap up. I didn't see any news on this. Climbed to nearly 50% as its lead monoclonal antibody, ADG20, demonstrated neutralization activity against the omnivore variant of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. That reads okay. This thing is a turd. Like, it's already came out, right, that they don't have shit here. Like, hence why it goes from $80 to $6. This is like one of those ones. Okay, so like if you come in hot on this thing, they very well may, you might get a little goose and a gander on this for a flipper, just because it's so cheap right now. And if the market is like healing, look, the pumpers have been on a vacation for the last couple months. They're probably in depression. It's hard to make money when the things you pump only go down. This could, you may get you could get a little action off of this thing. I've been very happy this last week, not trading any small caps. I mean, the market's been a little bit up and down, but this is probably not my kind of thing. But I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody coming in hot, laying the wood on it, for a hot second. Now, all these little small caps, they spike up for like 2 seconds and then they fucking fall down. So, you have to be in that, you have to be really mindful of that. There's just Knife City everywhere. Wix, Knife City. That's just been the nature of the game right now. ISPC, same thing. Like, this is a pump and dump stock, right? It goes from 6 to 28. It's back down to $7. Now it's gapping up, but it goes into resistance. The question becomes like, okay, if the market is healing, then you're going to have enough people. Maybe there's some people with money left in these kind of small cap rooms that might be able to kind of push these things around. My guess is most of them have lost all their monies, and now things get a lot more tricky. We shall see. These are things that would really need to do some work. I do think, like, if the market starts to heal itself and you're starting to see like this kind of strength that we've had the last few days actually stick, then there's going to be a handful of days here where these kind of names go. That's not my particular flavor, but, it might be worth a shot. I think there's just easier ways to ruin your life. More fun ways to ruin your life. You could do cocaine. You could do hookers. You could do a lot of stuff, right? I mean, you can go to farmers markets. There's things you can do. But getting knifed, not even in like the back alley of Sao Paulo looking for drugs, but just getting knifed in your own living room while you're sitting in your underwear, dusting off Doritos from your chest hair. That just doesn't sound like a good way to go out in life, at least not for myself. I mean, that's like, if I'm going to get knifed, it's going to be in a back alley doing something dangerous or saving a school bus of children going on a field trip from death. I mean, those are the only 2 ways I'm going on. I ain't getting knifed on no ISPC. Let's go KBH over here. KBH. Hey, so this thing receives target boost after EPS Q4 EPS beat the margin guidance. Hey, you know what? This is an earnings beat. Even though it's a home builder, they're not necessarily the most epic things to trade. This is probably the type of things that are going to start to get moving during this earnings season, and we're starting it up, right? Alcoa is the official kickstart of them. You're going to see a whole host of stocks saying that, hey, you know what? No matter what's happening in the markets or the world, we're making money, right? And so this KBH, like this is probably something to watch in the coming days. I don't know how hot it's going to be today for a day trade, but this is probably something the next handful of days is worth a little gander. Nikola, the electric vehicle gets zero emission approval from California's Clean Energy. Sounds like a big nothing. The company said approval on the program qualifies buyers for vehicle for an incentive valued at 100. You know what? So let me tell you something. This Nicholas is a big turd, but every couple of weeks they have a PR, and you do get like one good day out of it. You know, they'll have a PR and you get one good day out of it. We just, you know, we were just playing this a couple of days ago where, right, like it kind of took off out of the gate for a hot second. Now it always fucking reverses. Sorry for the swearing. I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's usually good for like a little shot of love. And you do got a little bit of a rounding pattern in here. I'd add Nikola, like that ain't bad. It's probably only worked like a 1 day's worth of 1 day, 2 hours worth of kind of action, but you never know. BGFE. Yeah, so this thing, like I actually do really like this pattern for a bottoming pattern. It's like it's a really an e-liquid stock. You can see here it's doing like 600, 700,000 shares a day. That's probably Mr. Terry. You really want to play this pick? Hold on. You take a shower, sir. And I say that with all respect because I do love you. But take a shower. You get dirty. I don't know really what to say on this one. Look, it's very hard intraday trader. I don't know anything about this, nor have heard of it, but just based on the intraday action of like wicks and stuff, it's really hard to control things like this. Like if you see here, like it doesn't really obey the laws of humanity, right? There's laws of man, there's laws of humanity. Laws of man and laws of humanity is like, okay, when you spike, you hold at your moving averages, you respect the VWAP as a father, right? The VWAP is the godfather of technical analysts. And, you know, when you don't show that kind of respect to the stock gods, then do we want to play this? Do we want to play this? Like it looks okay, but like for an intraday trade, it's just all zigzaggy. I don't know. That's not my thing. Not my thing. Taiwan semiconductor. Hey, so this is probably a little bit more of a swing trade. It's an ADS, so like it just moves mostly on gaps. But like this thing is probably a beast. And you see here, like you've got a big earnings beat. You got earnings beat, and all these semiconductors are crushing some puss on their earnings. This is going to be probably something to keep an eye on for the next coming months. If you take out this range, the longer the range, the longer the secondary move is. So that's going to be something to just be mindful of. That's going to have some heat on it. You know, probably something more. That's more like an IRA play. You can't chase it on a day three anyways. So you'd have to let it settle and then break out. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way. Amen. So this is another. Man, that's a semiconductor too. I do think these semiconductors are starting to. Here I got the pre-market gainer. Here I got it here for you, buddy. Get you the list. Lawrence. That the Psy KUN is me. It's my other. Try that one, Lawrence. Good. Now let's see what else is going down. Hey, so back to the same at these semiconductors are starting to push a little bit. Let's see if this kind of leads the way. Like if you start to see a big move in this one, like you may get a little bit of extra action in some of the other ones. You know, NVIDIA and AMD looking like they're more in weird spots. The big thing is going to be like how they kind of react around yesterday's highs. They are percolating a little bit here. Today will tell the story. Like if they go and attack yesterday's highs and take them out, then you're going to have probably some kind of bottoming action that's happening in them. If they get dusted up on them, like right off the bat, like you pop into these and just fade off, then that's going to be something to just be super mindful of also. Fucking cryptos popping. Hold on here. There's a couple cryptos that are starting to pop too, folks, that look pretty good. This FTM, all sorts, and we'll go over those in a hot second here. Oh shit! So yeah, we'll go over these in a hot second here. Now let's take a look on the downside, see if we got any juice over here. DNLI turd, space turd, double turd. It's an offering. So when they do an offering, those gap downs don't work as good. Guys, keep an eye on this FTM crypto though. This is like a big breakout spot, somewhere in that 310 to 315. It is a little bit slightly extended, but it's probably first pull on the hourly is a go. I think that one you may hit that thing. That thing may ride to the fours. Be key to love me. All right, cool. So that's it for the gappers. Nothing special today. There's one. Oh, there's two. You got Nikola. You got KBH. I wouldn't give either one of these like a big hot damn. Let's take a look at the regular watch list. All right, I've got a couple names here if the market does roll over, because the market has been fading gaps pretty much like every day. And strength. This Roku, no matter what happens with the market, like this thing is probably has a good chance to get dusted. You have a level over here at 176, and I think then if it gets under that, it's taking it down to probably 173. And then we'll see like what's going on. So you got kind of a little bit more of a bear flag on this thing. Let's go in. Number two, MTTR got dusted on some decent volume yesterday, 10 million shares, good solid. That's a good solid Christian range right there. If you have, pop, this is like reacts well to technical analysis too. Watch this thing around, I would say 15 bucks is probably the sweet spot. If it breaks under, we probably come in hot on this thing, and we'll probably come in hot on this thing. Yeah, I think 15 is going to be a good spot on this. All right, let's go into the rest of these. If we need bouncers, right? UPST is still holding up pretty good. I think that's probably one of the more oversold ones. Second, we go with Affirm. Hey, this Fubo had a big push a couple days ago. Inside day yesterday. I do like this overall look of this. I mean, I would keep this. This is probably top of the list if the market holds. If it doesn't, it's going to be a shitter because it's, I mean, everybody's seen the ads for Fubo TV. You can't trust it for nothing. But this is probably going to be something. If the market holds, I would add that to the watch list. That's got a good location on it. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Now, a couple more shorts I just want to add because they were getting dusted yesterday. The CPNG is another one. 2369. CPNG 2369. Like if it gets there, I mean, that's going to be, I think that's probably a heater right there. If we get there, let's add that to the watch list too. Good. On the long side, this DWAC is still trending. Yeah, TSM is going to need many more days before it's ready. This DWAC is still trending. If you need a long, like this is probably going to be running pretty good. We had rest days on all the Chinese names, and they're gapping down, which is ideal. So like, you had just kind of like a rest day on all these, but they're gapping down on all these today. These are primetime candidates for red to greens. BABA sucks to trade on gap ups. Like everybody knows that, even the stupidest of stupid, like they all, because it's just so thick. Like it always does that. The big gap days, like it's just not worth trading. What happens though is it really does rip pretty good on red to greens. So if you see here, like the previous day, like boom, Like that's when it's got the range, but I don't know why it is, but Baba has just never. I think it's just because it's like a monster float. Like it just doesn't do well. Like if Baba gaps up like 5, 6, 7%, like you have to fade it. Like you can't really buy it. I think today though, this PDD, like we've got ourselves a good old fashioned. We got some good old fashioned range on these things. The PDD is actually gapping down into support. I think that's going to be fuck Roblox. This thing was so fucking wiki yesterday. Sorry for the swing. I can't even type the damn ticker. I mean, I would consider yesterday an inside day, and also if it breaks over 90, it's probably going to rip. It is very, very wiki, so you'll have to just be mindful of that. The 90 is like your spot on it. You'll just have to trade around. Be wary of the wicks on it, and I think you'd be good to go. So Chinese stocks, Roblox, chip stocks, all good, right? If we need shorts, we got Roku, CPNG, MTTR on the downside. Does that make sense? Good. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. Watch this FTM, crypto, and Adam for breakouts. Both of those look like they're gonna get juicy. You do need to massage the entries on them a little bit, but they're looking pretty good. Guys, have fun. Let's trade fun. You know how it goes. Let's do what we do, which is the do.